Welcome to the Quantum Revenue Expansion Podcast. My name is Ursula, and I'm a sales expert, strategic business coach, and USA Today bestselling author. I love sharing strategies that show you exactly how to turn your annual revenue into your monthly revenue. If you're looking to take a quantum leap in your revenue or sales, your team, your productivity, your success, and your life, then you are meant to be here. My goal in every episode is to help you take your belief that it's possible to 2x or 10x your revenue while working way less to knowing that it is happening right now. Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to 2025 and welcome to Quantum Revenue Expansion, the podcast where we talk about turning your annual income into your monthly income. Cheers. If you're not watching this on YouTube and you're on the, treadmill or something, I'm just holding up my champagne for you. Cheers to a great 2025. Raise your hand unless you're driving or on the treadmill if you're glad to put 2024 in the rear view. I know I am. I think it wasn't a bad year, but it was just, oh my gosh, it was a noisy year, right? It was obviously an election year here in the United States. So that added to just a lot of noise, I feel like it really there was just a lot of tension for people and stress. It added to our stress. And I feel like as business owners, I mean, Lord knows we already have enough stress. We have enough things to worry about. And so it was like, really like one more thing, this, it just felt like it was piling on. And so we closed out our year with our team doing a vision board session together, which is really fun. Well, really fun to do. And something we do with our clients. It was fun to do it as a team at Ursula Inc. And all I know is that when I closed that session out, I finished my vision board for 2025. And I just put a pin in it. Like it was done. It was over. Goodbye, 2024. And that felt really good. That's all I'm saying. And I know some of you listen to the Vision Board podcast, or a lot of you listen to it. And we have submissions for people who wanted to win a done for you vision board. And we'll be getting those winners. We'll be letting you know if you won. I was really excited to read just what some of you are intending for the 2025 new year and what this done for you vision board will do for you. And I'll just put this out. Like if you haven't seen that, it was we released it on New Year's Eve, and you can go back and listen to it and certainly send in your submission. We're giving away 3. We're still reviewing them. I'm not even sure if Trisha gave us a final date, but I know like by this Friday. So as I'm recording this, it's the 6th of January. I wanted to wait until after vacation to record this. So we will be announcing and letting people know later this week. So you still have a few days. So if it's something you want to do, go back and listen to it and definitely fill out the form to win a done for you vision board, which we do for our clients and they love it. So yeah, wanted to put that out there. Today, I felt called, like I was thinking about all the things, right? All the things I could talk about that I'm excited about for 2025. We have a really exciting event coming up on the 16th of January called Nail Your Sales Script and Double Your Sales in 2025. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, we used to teach a course called Sales Camp. It's now Digital Sales Camp. And so this event that we're doing, Nail Your Sales Script and Double Your Sales, has a lot of the key elements from Sales Camp compressed into 2 hours. So during that workshop, we're going to help you create a powerful sales script that gets you results. So a sales script on the front end that helps you get more appointments, whether it's through email or phone calls or direct messaging or however you reach out to people, how to really nail an appointment. And then also what to say during a sales conversation to close more sales. Obviously, we all want more sales in 2025. So that's really what I wanted to launch with this year to help as many people as possible. And here's what we're covering on the 16th. We're going to talk about, of course, how to create a sales script that closes more sales. What are the elements? You guys know I'm certified in NLP. Like, what are the elements that put your product or service, give its best foot forward. And it's not about being manipulative. It is about talking to those prospects who are a great fit for what you offer. And if they don't buy from you, they're going to buy from somebody else. So you want to put your best foot forward so they can buy from you. So how do you help them understand what you're offering so they can make a decision? So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to talk about advanced sales strategies and how to what are the sales strategies that we teach our 6 and 7 figure clients that help them grow hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. I'll also show you how to overcome objections with ease, which is what we're talking about today, by the way. Today is all about objections and how to handle your number one sales objection. So whatever your number one sales objection is, we're going to talk about that today. So this is kind of a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be doing at Nail Your Sales Script. And we'll also show you how to create a plan to double your sales in 2025 and why our clients are able to do that and how we help them put a plan together that gets that result for them. And finally, this is really tailored for clients who are at least at 6 figures, wanting to go to multi 6 figures, 7 figures, or beyond that. Okay. So that's there's so much. We're going to cover so much in that time. You're also going to have laser coaching. And then I'm going to announce some other things at the end of that class that you're going to love. So stay tuned. If you want to join us, the link is in the show notes below. And you can attend for $47. It's like, 4 or 5 visits to Starbucks, and you could reset your entire 2025. I mean, come on. I wanted to make it as big of a no-brainer as possible, but also to have a little skin in the game. Like $47, you're going to show up, you're going to make the most of it. I really want people there who are committed to, making this your best year. So if you're feeling the pull, definitely click the link in the show notes below. You can join us for $47. All right. So with that, today we're going to talk about, how to handle your number one sales objection. And you're probably thinking, well, Ursula, how do you know what my number one sales objection is? And the truth is, I have no idea what your number one sales objection is, and it doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But here's the thing, right? I've been doing this for a minute. Feels like 2 decades. Oh, doesn't feel like it's been 2 decades. And we all have certain sales objections that seem to come up over and over again. Okay. And I don't know why this is. I think that here's what I think, but I could be totally wrong. I do think that whatever our concerns are, like me as a business owner, as a salesperson, whatever my concerns are about what other people will think of me during a sales conversation feeds into the objections that come up over and over again, right? In other words, sales objections are just a mirror for your fears, for your concern about feeling or looking salesy in the sales process. And let me just say, I totally also get that, right? I get that we, as humans, right? We have this desire to be liked, especially if you're in sales or you have a business, right? Like you want to be liked. You want people to like you. It's just part of this whole thing that we're in, right? We want to serve people. And the last thing we want to do is repel them. Okay. And so I get that. And so think about your sales objections, the ones that you get, regularly, as just a mirror of your fears, just a mirror of your fears and how you don't want people to see you. And the reason I want you to look at it that way is because it's very freeing. It starts to free up space for you when you realize that you just kind of normalize it. It's like, yeah, of course I want people to like me. Of course I don't want to repel them. And yet I know that I have a product or service that makes a difference in someone's life or their business or their children's lives, right? So to hold back on what I have to offer is also doing a disservice to humanity. And the same is for you, right? By holding back, you're not putting out what people want from you or need from you. And so the more we can just normalize this, that, your sales objections are just mirrors for you, the easier it can become. So say going along that thought process, I invite you to think about, your last or most recent sales conversations, maybe at the end of 2024. especially if you were tired, because I know that's the hardest time to be in a sales conversation. Like you're at the end of 2024, you're limping toward 2025. It's been a long year, right? You see the holidays, you're ready for that, but like you're having this last sales conversation. And what were some of the objections that came up? A lot of them, right? A lot of objections that anyone in business gets are around money, right? Payment. It could be around, someone, your prospect not feeling like this solves a problem or meets their needs, or it's not quite lining up. Could be timing, right? There's a lot of things that this prospect could be thinking about as they're talking to you. The thing I want you to note, though, is the fact that they're in your world, the fact that they're having this conversation already tells me that they're interested in what you have, or they wouldn't be talking to you, right? There's something about what you're offering that they're interested in. So you've already made it to the point of this conversation. And so I'm going to share a couple things. Actually, I'm going to share 5 things with you that can really help you understand and overcome your number one sales objection. So thinking back to the last conversations that you had, some of your sales conversations, like what's the number one objection? Or even thinking about your theme in 2025, thinking back, like what was the number one objection that people gave you? So just take a moment to think about what that might have been. Okay. Okay. So there's a couple points I want to give you first before we dive in to like the number one way to handle your sales objection. First, number one is that in any sales conversation, your confidence that you can solve a problem or meet a need for your prospect is what people are buying from you. They're buying your confidence that you can do it, that you can give them the result, or that your product can give them the result, or that your service can give them what they want. Okay. They're like the whole time you're having a conversation, they're assessing like, will this product or service give me the result that I'm looking for? And they're buying your confidence, like they're feeling into it. And so much of sales is less about the conversation and more about how we're both feeling in that conversation, right? Like if I'm talking to someone, I'm just thinking of something I purchased I actually just purchased something today. Okay. And someone in the consulting space, someone that I'm going to work with in 2025. And I'm really excited about it. But I had questions and I had some doubts about like the service that they offer. And I had a list of 10 questions that I sent to them. 10, right? 10 questions. Now, this could have made that person nervous. It could have made them feel like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can answer this. But this person, okay, this business person confidently answered my questions. In fact, I could sense how confident they are. Confident, like super confident. They even gave me a statistic, which that's was very confident on their parts. And it wasn't 100%, but it was still a pretty high statistic on whether or not they thought they could help me in a certain area. Okay. They're very confident in what they're offering. Their confidence sold me. Okay. I had objections. I had questions, but their confidence that they could solve my problem is why I paid for their services today. So the number one piece of this is that confidence matters. I don't care what the objection is. I don't care. They could throw thousands of objections at you. And you also have a list now of like, or, a couple objections that you get frequently, and you have your number one sales objections. I don't even care about any of that though. The truth is, whether or not you are confident is why they're going to buy from you. That's it. Confidence matters. Confidence rules. Now, if you're in the beginning of your business or just starting out, you don't have a lot of testimonies. You don't have a lot of confidence maybe yet. That's when you have to pull from past confidence. Because what I know is that people don't start a business most of the time without any experience in a certain industry, right? So then you got to pull your confidence from past experiences of where you've helped people with this, or, your belief in this product that you're selling and that, you're confident because you know the statistic, right? You got to pull that confidence in. So before you even get to an objection, I want you to be confident that your product or service is going to solve their problem. Period. End of story. Confidence matters. Confidence sells. Now, I'm not saying, let me be very, very clear about this. I'm not saying to be arrogant or to not be humble. I've seen people super arrogant running with their statistics and completely turning people off. So that's not what I'm talking about at all. So you got to check yourself, right? Am I being arrogant in my confidence, or is my confidence coming from a place of serving? That's the difference, right? When your confidence comes from a place of serving and making a difference, that's what people are going to sense. I want you to be as humble as possible in this conversation. I want you to just come from a place of I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. I want to serve. And here's how I do that. Okay. So confidence matters, but it's not arrogance. It's a humble confidence. And maybe I haven't said that clearly enough. I've been thinking about that recently. It's humble confidence matters. Humble confidence. Okay. Number 2, and I haven't even gotten to the number 1 way to handle your sales objection yet, but this is just laying the groundwork. Number 2, mindset matters. The mindset that you're taking into that conversation matters. And here's what I mean by that. We all have stuff going on in our lives, okay? Some of us more than others. Some of us have extreme things happening in our lives. And believe me, I've been there. I've been there in many different ways, personal stuff, professional stuff. There are days, I've had some rough days. I've had some rough years. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. However, when I go into a sales meeting or I go into a conversation with a new client, I bring a fresh, clean mindset. I got to let go. I got to compartmentalize. I got to put my junk in a box over here so that I can focus and show up in a humble, confident way, right? With a mindset that says, I'm open. I'm here. I'm here to serve. I'm here to make a difference. I'm holding space, right? Because we know that selling is, if it's going to come from a place of serving, it's much more about listening than it is about telling. This is an area where people get really tripped up in the sales process because there's this belief that they have to talk. No. And I also understand that a lot of us are very chatty, right? Or we wouldn't be in this field. So not talking can be very hard for us. But to the extent that you can just be quiet, that you can just hold space, that you can ask open-ended questions and create space for the conversation, the likelihood of you closing that sale goes way, way up. Okay. So check yourself. Ask yourself, what's the mindset that I'm bringing to this conversation? What do I need to check myself on? What do I need to put in a box over here so it can just sit until I come out later? And that's a skill, but you can do it. All right. Number 3 point that I want you to get. Again, we haven't even gotten to how to handle your number 1 sales objection yet, but this is the groundwork. The 3rd point is to be detached. Says the woman who wrote a book called Selling with Intention. However, what is your intention? Your intention isn't to close every sale. You might be going, really? No. Because if your intention was to close every sale, you would have clients or customers, whatever you call them, that are not a good fit for you. And that is not what I want for you. Okay. So your intention is not to close every sale. Your intention when you're selling with when you're selling with intention is to be detached from the outcome. So it's a fine balance. Your intention is to show up to serve. Your intention is to offer the all of the options. Your intention is to handle their objections if they have them. Your intention is to be confident in the sales process. And then your intention is to be detached because you want to make sure that they get to choose, that they get to decide. Okay? It's not about, listen, especially in the world of coaching. I cannot work with people who are not coachable, right? Rebecca and I can't drag people across the finish line. Like, people got to show up. They got to meet us halfway. And that's for us what our whole, if we're having a conversation with somebody, that's what the conversation is really about, is like, can we serve this person? Are they going to show up prepared? Are they going to meet us halfway? If the answer is no, then we've still served them, right? We've still helped them in some way. We've helped them make a decision. They've probably been through one of our other classes. Like, they've gotten what they need maybe to that point. But then there's others who we get to the end and they're like, okay, where do I sign up? And I don't even know that I find this interesting. The clients who end up working with us about halfway through a conversation are like, so how do I sign up? Like, they don't have any more questions. They're like, what's the next step? Sign me up, right? Like, what do I need to do? I'm ready to go. And so when you show up humble, right? With humble confidence, when you've put your issues in a box and you've compartmentalized and you come from this detached place, then the person that you're meeting with can actually make a decision. They can make a decision from a clean, clear space that really, really serves them. And then you aren't feeling salesy. You aren't feeling like you're convincing. You're not pulling people across the line. Like, it's none of that. You've just opened up the space for them to make a decision. Okay. My fourth point, and here it is. I want to lay the groundwork first, but here it is. How to handle your number one sales objection. Remember your number one sales objection that you've written down? I'm going to tell you how to handle it. Okay. It doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Every single one of you have a different flavor in a different way. I mean, I'm sure there's patterns, but you have the number one sales objections that you're getting are, again, they're just mirrors of your fears and where you don't want to get stuck in the sales conversation. Okay. So they're different. The number one way to handle your sales objection is this. You need to get curious. Okay. And this follows being detached. I'm showing up, I'm detached, I'm asking open-ended questions. If you don't know what those open-ended questions are and you want help with that, then you got to come to Nail Your Sales Script on January 16th, because we're going to go over that. Again, it's like 5 trips to Starbucks pays for it, or even 4 trips, depending on what drinks you get. But I'm going to break down the open-ended questions that you want to ask during a sales conversation. Okay. So that invitation is there for you. But in terms of answering the objections, you want to get curious. You want to get super curious. And you do that by answering an objection with a question. It's that easy. You get that. So for example, okay, if someone says, oh, this sounds really great. Oh, this sounds really great. This sounds amazing. But it's just not the right time. Now, is it not the right time? I don't know. Like, I'm curious. Like, what does that even mean? Because I'll tell you something, on planet Earth, it's not the right time. With 1 billion people on the planet, probably has 1 billion different answers. Okay. So for me to assume that I know what that means would be impossible, unless I'm psychic in that way. Well, I don't presume to, read people's minds. It's not what I do. Okay. I could guess. Maybe I'd even be close, but I don't want to be close. I want to know what it means when somebody says it's not the right time. Okay. Insert any objection here, because what you're going to do is you're going to ask a question. You're going to get curious and you're going to ask the question. You could just say, all right, Shelly, like, tell me more about it. What does it mean it's not the right time for you? And then say nothing. Okay. I don't want you talking. People get nervous at this point. They don't like to have silence. I get that. It might be uncomfortable, but your job is to serve the client by asking an open-ended question. Again, Shelly, tell me about that. Like, what does that mean? It's not the right time. And let them answer you. Oh my gosh. I've been in so many sales meetings with sales professionals who start to talk over, or business owners who start to talk, like the silence is killing them, or their mind just can't stop, and they just start talking and the sale's dead. You are not serving someone when you're talking over them, or when you think you know what their objection means. You're not serving them, right? Because for a lot of people, they're like, oh, it's not the right time. All right, I'm moving on. It's not the right time. No, you haven't served them. Because let's say Shelly, let's say I'm quiet and Shelly says, well, it's not the right time because I'm waiting for this payment from another client. And once that payment comes, I could start. Okay. All right. So I have another question, right? What do you think my question is? Yes, exactly. When is your client paying you, Shelly? Probably in 2 weeks. Okay. So what I'm hearing you say, and then I'm active listening, so I'm repeating this back. What I'm hearing you say is that when your client pays you, you're going to be ready to start. Yes, exactly. Okay, great. Well, then here's what I would recommend. I would recommend that the next step be to put a deposit down, small deposit, to hold your spot, whatever thing is that you're offering. That's, might have, like ours have time constraints. So here's something, put a small deposit down to hold your spot. And then we'll work out the payment details when the rest of the payment comes in. How does that sound? That sounds great. Wow. I just served my client. But if I would have just glossed over it and said, hey, Shelly, call me when it's the right time, Shelly probably wouldn't have called me. I'm not serving her. I'm not even acting like I want to work with her, right? I'm just like brushing her off. And for a prospective client, that's pretty disheartening. And so while you think like, oh, I don't want to be uncomfortable, I don't want to like keep asking these questions, you're not serving them. Because I know what happens for Shelly when she comes on board and does coaching with us for a year. I know what that does for her business, her life, the domino effect for her children, her legacy, or his, whoever it happens to be. I know that there's going to be some massive shifts in her business, in her life. It's going to change things. So I'm willing to stay in that conversation. And so that's the fifth step here, is to offer a next step, which you heard me say. I'm going to offer Shelly next step, because once I get curious and I ask the open-ended question and they share it with me, and then I create that next step, like we're on to closing the sale. It is happening. But it's happening because I'm coming from a place of service. It's not transactional. I'm not like, oh, I win. No, we all win because I know what's in store for that client. Just like, when someone buys your product or service, what's in store for them. They might not even know. I want to thank you for hanging out in this conversation. I know it was useful. If you apply what I shared with you today, your closing ratio is going to increase exponentially this year. And if you want to take it to the next level, come and play with us. Put your 5 Starbucks, 6 Starbucks, $47, nail your sales script, January 16th, come and play with us, and then see what happens the rest of 2025. I would love to see what could unfold for you. All right, everybody, that's it for this week. Thanks for hanging out with us. Make this your most epic year yet.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you loved what you heard, be sure to leave a review on iTunes so I know what you like and can create content that guides you to up-level your business even more. If you want more strategic business tips, follow me on social media. You'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And you can visit my website at www.ursulainc.co. I love being on this journey with you and can't wait to connect with you on the next episode. In the meantime, make this your most epic month yet.